tonight and anticipate Donald Trump's visit to Hampton Roads tomorrow here in Virginia. We thought it was important to take a moment and just refresh folks' memories on the importance of healthcare in this election and the conflicting records of Democrats like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Democrats in Congress who have done so much to strengthen and protect healthcare for Virginians and Americans across the country against the records of Donald Trump, Congresswoman Jen Kiggans, and MAGA Republicans who would take healthcare away. So we're going to be talking about the Affordable Care Act. We'll talk about the Inflation Reduction Act and the cost savings for folks on Medicare that they've seen through their prescription drugs on the Inflation Reduction Act. And we'll also be talking about the importance of reproductive health care and Republicans' efforts to dismantle that. So with no further ado, I will introduce you to the chair of the Senate Education and Health Committee, Senator Ghazala Hashmi.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much to Protect Our Care for inviting me to speak today ahead of tonight's debate and tomorrow's visit from the former president and newly convicted felon, Donald Trump. We're here today to ring the alarm to Virginians in every corner of the Commonwealth that your health care is on the line. Donald Trump has stated his clear intention to terminate the Affordable Care Act, and that will rip away health care for millions of Americans, including by taking away protections for pre-existing conditions. And before the Affordable Care Act, we have to remember that being a woman was considered a pre-existing condition. So that is on top of the fact that Trump has openly bragged about appointing the justices who overturned Roe v. Wade. Last month, Donald Trump even said that he was looking at restricting access to contraceptives. And as the Virginia Senate's chief patron of the Right to Contraception Act, I know that these statements are quite on point. Trump tried to walk them back, but he meant them, and he meant what he said the first time around. And in fact, his new best friend, the Republican governor of our state, Glenn Youngkin, even vetoed my bill that would have simply guaranteed the right to contraception in our Commonwealth. So we know that the Republican Party has become so extreme that protections such as condoms, birth control pills that so many women rely on for health care, as well as for family planning, and IUDs are just too controversial for them to support. So for everyone who's tuning into the debate tonight, I want you to know the clear differences between Joe Biden and Donald Trump when it comes to health care, and most especially reproductive health care. Donald Trump has appointed justices who overturned Roe v. Wade, and he continues to brag about the disastrous health care crisis that he has created across the country. And meanwhile, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been a brick wall for reproductive rights at the federal level, just as I and my fellow Democrats in the General Assembly have been a brick wall here at the state level. Republican politicians from Donald Trump to Glenn Youngkin will try to sell you lies about their position on reproductive health, especially now as they are seeing how wrong they are on issues such as access to abortion and contraceptives. But I ask that we please not be deceived. If given the opportunity to do so, they will absolutely deny our fundamental rights. They're poised to make America into the hellscape that was delineated by Margaret Atwood in The Handmaid's Tale, which was a dystopian vision outlined in that novel, and paints a novel that paints a tragic picture of how women are subjugated to the control of extreme laws and authoritarian politicians. So that's why I plan to use tonight's debate as motivation to continue traveling across the Commonwealth to talk to Virginians about health care, and most especially about reproductive health care. Virginia has shown the South and the nation what it means to be a beacon of reproductive freedom, and we can't go back. Thank you. And Katie, I'll return it to you now.
Thank you so much, Senator, and thank you for your leadership. And next, I'm honored to welcome another leader in the Senate, Senator Aaron Rouse from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Katie. Hello, everyone, and thank you to Protect Our Care for organizing today's important pre-debate event. Now, I have never been someone to mince words in the Senate, and I will not do so today. Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans in Congress want to take away your health care. And that is absolutely a matter of life and death for thousands of Virginians. A few years ago, Virginia made history when the Virginia General Assembly passed a budget that included Medicaid expansion and empowered over 700,000 people to access quality, affordable health care. Over the last few years, we have drastically improved our state Medicaid program by increasing reimbursement rates, expanding covered services for things like dental care and doulas, and so much more. In fact, I and my siblings grew up on Medicaid. And last year, over 400,000 Virginians signed up for health plans through Virginia's new state-run health exchange, with nearly 9 in 10 enrollees qualifying for savings on their healthcare premiums. Now, what do all these have in common? Democrats made these wins a reality. Check the scoreboard. Democrats created the Affordable Care Act, which protected people with pre-existing conditions and let young people stay on their parents' plans until they are 26. I have a 21-year-old. He's still on my plan. I know you all remember when the hot mic caught Joe Biden telling President Obama this is a BFD. You know what else is a BFD? The Inflation Reduction Act. Again, passed by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Democrats in Congress, which is lowering healthcare premiums, lowering prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare, and holding Big Pharma accountable for skyrocketing prescription drugs costs. But on the flip side, Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans are committed to repealing the Affordable Care Act and kicking millions of people off their health plans in the process. Trump has literally said he wants to terminate the Affordable Care Act, and Republicans in Congress released a budget that would repeal all the prescription drug savings from the Inflation Reduction Act. Their reckless actions would not only cost people their health care, but would also worsen existing racial health disparities, including Black maternal health. Here in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin and his MAGA Republicans in the legislature tried to sell Virginians an abortion ban, while Democrats were talking about how to make healthcare more accessible and more affordable. It's the same thing this year. And just like Groundhog's Day, and tonight at the debate, and tomorrow when he comes to Hampton Roads, Donald Trump is going to try to sell you a bill of goods. He already has shown us what he wants to do for your health care, and that's take it away. So do not believe him. We have work to do to get out to make sure that we re-elect President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And I want to pass it back to you, Katie.
Thank you so much, Senator. And, you touched on the Inflation Reduction Act. And I just wanted to point out that Congresswoman Jen Kiggins has tweeted extensively against the Inflation Reduction Act and has also voted to cut veterans' health care, which I'm going to let our storyteller from Virginia Beach, Maurice Hawkins, speak a little bit about. You're on mute, Maurice.